everyone and welcome to my new video. I had a little road trip to Jyväskylä a couple months ago and finally had the time to write my travel journal about that, so I thought I might as well record the process so you can see it as well. I have barely any photos or video footage of this trip because it was raining the whole time while I was there, so we will focus more on the journaling process itself. Jyväskylä is a city in Finland which is about 4 hours away from where I live, and one of my friends lives there, so I went to see her with my boyfriend. This was just a weekend trip, so I did what I usually do and just wrote about it afterwards and didn't even have my travel journal with me because I knew I wouldn't have the time to write in it. I finally bought an old book from a local thrift store and wanted to use that for this spread, so I tore a couple pages from it and that felt very wrong because I haven't even read this book. But at the same time, I was also really happy about these actual old book pages I could use. This book page was a lot more satisfying to tear apart because it was so old that it tore really easily, and I also like how it has almost like this tea-stained paper kind of look. I glued the book page in the opposite corners of the spread so it would have a nice framing in it, and it also added a little bit of a vintage vibe, which inspired me to use quite neutral colors for the rest of the decorations. I used my trusty old corner cutter for rounding the corners, and this is the Bullet Journal Edition 2 notebook that I'm using, and it has slightly smaller corners, so I used the 4mm side for them instead of the 7mm that I used for my bullet journal. I happen to have a couple photos in my camera roll from this trip, so I just printed them out on a regular copy paper and pasted them in my journal. I usually take a lot of food photos, but totally forgot to do that on this trip. I don't really know why, and I was a little bit sad about that because I had very delicious food in 2 different restaurants. In Jyväskylä there is this little stationery shop called Paperi, which I highly recommend you to visit if you ever travel to Jyväskylä. I bought 2 vintage postcards from there and decided to use this daffodil one for the page on the left, and I think it suited the color of the header perfectly. Here's a little stationery haul of the things I bought there, and I could have spent the whole day in this shop as it was really difficult to choose what I wanted to buy. I used basically everything I bought except the circular map stickers in this spread because I felt like they didn't fit in this page, but I will definitely use them for my travel journal some other time. I also bought these yellow clear stickers, but I kinda wish I would have bought a different pack because some of these had text in them which I didn't really like because they reminded me more of greeting cards, so we will see how I will end up using the rest. I always like to add the decorations first before I start writing about my trip because I somehow find it easier that way, so I added some washi tape collages on places that needed them in my opinion. Even though it was pouring rain the whole time we were on this trip, I had a really lovely time there, and it was fun to see my friends that I hadn't seen in a long time. My friend has this really cute dog that kind of looks like a little pirate because he has this black spot on his eye, and he's really cute. I love dogs, if you can tell. So seeing him also made this trip even better, and we went on a nice walk in the forest with him, which I would love to have filmed some footage of, but it was still raining so I couldn't. We also went to see a photo exhibition of people's butts, which sounds kind of weird, but I really enjoyed it because all the photos had really interesting and deep stories behind them about the persons that were being photographed. One of the highlights on this trip was going to a vegan restaurant called Beans and More, which also had cute greyhounds in there that you could pet, and one of them absolutely stole my heart because she was really shy at first but almost wouldn't let me leave at the end, which melted my heart. The food was very delicious as well, so I highly recommend going there, and they had really good carrot cake and iced chai latte, which I accidentally spilled on my white pants. Jyväskylä is a really beautiful city, especially during summer, and I definitely want to travel there again soon, as I had a really fun time on this trip, and hopefully it will be sunnier next time, so I can film there to show you more of the city. Anyway, after I had finished writing about my thoughts on this trip, I decided to add a little bit more decorations to fill up the empty spaces. Here's how the spread turned out, and I really like it, but I kinda wish I wouldn't have added that yellow flower sticker on the bottom of the postcard, but that's fine. Remember to leave a like on this video and also a dog emoji in the comments if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye!